What's up, everybody? I'm Richard,
and I'm Shawn,
and this is the language of bromance. This is what we are speaking, but this is a crisis intervention. That's what this episode is about, because my friend Shawn has spent the last few months, who knows,
2 years
since the last Turtles movie came out. He's been jonesing for his Turtles fix, and he very recently saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it did not live up to his expectations. So what we all need to do is we all need to come together now, and we need to help our friend. This is basically, it's like I told him earlier, it's the equivalent of a pet dying, you know? This is, you have to come together, you have to help somebody through it. So we're all going to help Shawn through this today. I personally have not seen the movie. But I'm fine, I mean, you can, it's okay, you can spoiler away. There probably will be spoilers about this. I'm totally fine with it. It's not that I don't plan on seeing it. I'm just indifferent to the spoilers of it. But
yes, this is going to come out about 2 weeks after the movie's release. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to wait, spoilers. But I'm sure anybody that's wanted to see it's probably already seen it by this point.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I will say I have seen reviews, and the reviews have not been stellar. Not stellar at all.
Yeah, I think it's I saw on Reddit today that's on pace to be the lowest rated movie of all time.
Wow.
So let me set the scene for you. So we all know that I'm a huge Turtles fan. I grew up with it, and just recently got into comics about 2.5 years ago, and the new comic is amazing. Like, I really, really enjoy the new comic. The new TV show on Nickelodeon is amazing. So about 2 years ago, I heard that Michael Bay was going to be part of the new Turtles movie. It's supposed to come out Christmas of 2013, I believe, was the initial date. And so I was super pumped and excited, telling everybody, this is what I'm going to go see. It got pushed back, and, we all know the controversy about, they said, well, they're going to be aliens. And
they're going to be aliens.
Yeah, and everybody threw their hands up in the air and said, wait a second. And it was like, oh, no, they're not aliens. Kept getting pushed back. But release date was there. The posters came out, trailers came out, and I'm like, okay, this looks good. Good enough. I bought all 4 posters. I got them framed in my basement. I'm like, this movie should be, at worst, okay, hopefully.
Are they still there? Are the posters still there in the basement?
Yeah, the posters still look pretty sweet, so I'm going to keep them up. But so let me set the scene. So I keep checking about 3 weeks before the movie starts with the theaters around here to say, hey, when are they going to sell tickets? And they don't show it. And back home where you're from, they showed that they're going to have a Thursday night showing.
Yes.
I was completely prepared to drive all the way to Quincy to watch this and come all the way back.
Wow.
But Columbia did have a Thursday night showing, so I got tickets for that about a week before the show came out. Had a couple people from work going to go with me. I went with Tiffany, and I went with Tiffany's mom. And I was like, it's probably going to be packed. I mean, it's an opening show. It's a big show. It's going to be packed, right?
Yeah, you think. I mean, especially like a movie that has kind of like a dedicated following. You'd think that like a theater, especially for like a midnight show, like that's where you're going to get all your hardcore, all your diehard fans. And
yeah, I mean, you figure at least 3/4 full, maybe not packed, but you'd figure there'd be a decent line early.
Yeah.
So my plan was like, well, I'm going to get there right after work and meet everybody there, and that way, I can kind of be first in line or, somewhere in the line so I can get a good seat. Because that's the other thing. I usually don't go when it's busy nights because I like to be able to sit where I want and be comfortable. Okay. So I get there, and Tiffany's like, I decided, like, well, it's kind of crazy to get there like an hour and a half before this movie starts. So I'm going to come home first, grab a bite to eat, and then pick up Tiffany, and we can head over there. So I get home, and Tiffany's like, well, what time are we heading over there? And I was like, well, probably, about a quarter till or so. And she's like, we're going to be there for like an hour? I'm like, well, it's opening night. It's going to be busy.
Exactly. I mean, if anybody has never experienced wait, honestly, like when it comes to nerdy movies or geeky movies or or stuff like that, like one of my favorite parts is the waiting in line. And this might sound weird. I love waiting in line for a movie, like if a movie that's got like like the Avengers or Batman or something like that. Like the midnight show of something. Like I get pumped. Like it makes me like jazzed to see the movie because you're in line with all these other people and they're excited and everybody's like psyched and like and not even that, like you meet people and you kind of like and that like it's basically it's like your own little secret club and that they're into the things that you're into, and so there's like an unspoken bond, and I love it. I love going to midnight shows for movies. I've done it I waited in line for Star Wars Episode 3. I waited in line for 12 hours. I am not kidding you.
I remember you talking
12
about
hours. I sat out in the sun. I made the mistake of wearing a black T-shirt, but so I sat out in the sun for 12 hours, and it was awesome. Like people came in costume, and it was great. I loved it.
What number in line were
So
you?
anyway, do what? Well, I was fourth in line.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. But yeah,
the three people ahead of me had been there since the night before, so they were there like 24 hours.
Did people start coming pretty quick? Like, so you said you were there for 12 hours. Was it like a couple hours before more people started showing up, or was it kind of you got there?
I'd say I got there about 12 hours before. I would say about like 4 hours before is when it really started kicking up. Like the line started getting big, and then you start, like I said, you started seeing people in costume, and like everybody's talking about the movie and like what they want to see and things that they've heard about it or whatever, and yeah, love a midnight show. I'm all about a midnight show.
I didn't think about that specific scenario, but I remember you saying long ago that you stood in line, so that was kind of in the back of my mind. Like I remember people talking about that, and so I was kind of in the mood for that. Like I know it was going to be kind of weird with Tiffany and her mom there, but her mom's kind of like open to that, Comic-Con-y type stuff. So I've never really got to experience that where I go to some place and there's that, like you said, that unspoken bond where, I kind of wanted to be standing there with people and people notice my shirt because I wore my Shredder shirt. That was pretty cool. I just got. And, kind of people like, oh, yeah, hey, that's a sweet shirt. I'm like, yeah, I like your shirt too. Or, oh, hey, your costume's pretty cool. I was kind
We're
of really,
best friends.
Yeah, I know. I was really in the mood for that, just kind of that, geeky bondness stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, well, let's just get there about a quarter till, 10 till or so. I'm sure we'll still be fine in line and everything. But we get there. It's like 5:45, 5:50. It's a 7:00 show. There's nobody there. There's absolutely nobody there. And Tiffany's like, "Wow, I'm glad we came early." I'm like, "Oh yeah, me too. I'm sure people will start showing up soon." So we walk up to the front line. Yeah, because I bought my tickets online and I show them to him. And she's like, "Oh well, yeah, here, printing them off to me." And we walk in, and again, nobody's in there. It's like, okay, maybe they'll start showing up soon. So the other thing I was looking forward to, and I was kind of excited that we're there and nobody was there.
So you went and then you sat down in the chair. And like you're sitting there and you're pumped. Did you have like a toy sword with you? And you're sitting there with your Shredder shirt on and
No, so something else that I saw online is that they were going to sell because it was a 3D movie, and a lot of theaters were selling 3D glasses that look like bandanas for like $10. And so I was like, I'm totally getting one.
Oh,
okay. That's just kind of something cool, put it at my desk or whatever.
Right.
And Tiffany runs off to the bathroom, so I walk up and I'm like, okay, I was gonna get a soda, and there's a lot of weird stuff that's never happened to a movie before. Kind of happened this night, and it's all like signs of the doom that was coming. So I get up there and I get my soda, and I ask him like, hey, I noticed online that there was a lot of theaters selling these 3D glasses. Do you guys have any? And they all look at me, and it always seems to be like that whenever you go to something like this and you ask for something you've seen online. They look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right,
it's like, I'm
yeah.
just here to pour your soda. Leave me the fuck alone and go watch your movie.
Yeah.
But the manager was over there, and he's like, yeah, is there any, like, stuff for the opening night? And the guy's like, well, I think there's, like, dog tags or something. And he gets on his radio, and I get my soda, and he's like, yeah, we don't have anything. I was like, okay, cool, no big deal, whatever. And so I walk back over, waiting to Tiffany get the bathroom. So we haven't even gone into the movie yet. We're still in the lobby because it still feels way too early to go sit in the theater.
Oh God.
So it's like 6:05, and we're waiting for Tiffany's mom. She's just about to show up, and all of a sudden I hear, sir. I was like, sweet, they found the glasses. And I go walking over there, and he's like, yeah, I accidentally charged you for a large soda instead of a medium.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's no big deal, whatever. He's like, no, it's going to screw up our inventory if we don't put this in a large. I'm like, all right, well, I guess just pour this in there. And I shit you not, this thing is like 44-ounce soda. It's freaking huge. It's like 2-liter bottle
Gotta
of
love
soda.
movie theater soda.
And
you have a medium, and then the large is like 80 gajillion gallons.
yeah, it's like, oh, great, kidney buster. And it's funny, too, because she's like, oh, well, she's like, it's a good thing you got the large because it comes with a free refill. I'm like, yeah, because I need a free refill when I have 2 liters bottle. I already have a 2-liter bottle of soda here.
Exactly.
So I'm carrying this big ass thing of soda, and we go sit over in the corner and just kind of sitting and waiting, and like time's ticking away. Nobody's showing up. It's like about 5:30 or so, and still nobody's shown up.
Oh God.
And the guys from work had just started coming, and so we're like, all right, well, I guess we'll go in. And so we go and we sit, and we're sitting in the theater for like a half hour. And by the time the movie started, there was probably less than 20 people in the theater.
Wow.
I went and saw the new Guardians the night before on Wednesday, so it had been out for over a week.
Yeah.
And there was probably 3 times the people in that theater. Like, it was probably about half full for a Wednesday night.
Oh.
And this release night, there was only 20 people.
Wow.
Now, they did have midnight releases, but this was the first showing in Columbia at 7.
Okay.
And 20 people, maybe. So we're sitting there, and I mean, I'm like, whatever, it'd be kind of cool not to have that many people in here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Real quick before this starts. So I get up and I walk out there, and there's a maintenance guy out there, and he's like, oh, cool shirt. I'm like, oh, thanks. And he's like, did you get your dog tag? I was like, no, they said they didn't have any. He's like, oh, and he reaches in his pocket. I'm sure he took like a bunch of them just for his own collection.
Sure.
And he pulls one out, and like of all the turtles he pulls out, he's like, is Donatello okay? I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean, that's fine.
Yes.
He's not my favorite turtle, but whatever. So I get a Donatello dog tag. It's like, yeah, that's awesome, whatever. Go to the bathroom, come back, sit down, and start watching the movie, and at least I got to see the Dumb and Dumber 2 trailer.
Hey. Which you probably watched like 2 weeks before on YouTube. But
Yeah. But to get into the more spoilery of everything, so, I mean, obviously we know Megan Fox is in it.
yes.
And we've seen some of the talking she did in the trailer, so I wasn't too excited about how she was going to do. But the very opening of it, they're do it like comic version. So it's the comics, they're kind of explaining who the turtles are, and they say something about how like the Shredder is known by Splinter somehow, or like Splinter's talking about Shredder. So like, okay, so they somehow have some kind of connection. They know each other. It's like, okay, sweet. Kicks into Megan Fox, and she forgot how to act, or maybe never knew how to act.
I'm gonna go with never knew. I think I don't know. Megan Fox always seemed like one of those, like, hey, I'm pretty, so yeah.
It's like, I need the big scoop. It's like,
Oh God.
and like there's a good like 20 minutes of her in the opening.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it was rough. It was really, really rough. I mean, and it's one of those things too. Like, I'm watching all this go on. I'm like, I can deal with this as long as everything else makes sense. As long as the story's good and the plot's decent, like, I'm fine. I can deal with that.
Okay, so you're at this point, you're like about 20 minutes in, and you dealt with like, okay, so like the art so far, the art with like the little comic book stuff, like I'm sure like that probably looked okay.
Yeah, it was cool
Yeah,
looking.
the art probably looked okay, and then it goes into like the shitty wooden acting of Megan Fox, and then you're like, oh god, oh this is how it's gonna, and then like this is how it's gonna be, like this, like Megan, like this is how Megan Fox is gonna be the entire movie.
Yeah. So it gets to that, and like I kind of
So I
have that
mean
like
that's a punch, but that's not a body
Mhm.
blow, not a body blow.
No, yeah, it's dealable. I mean, it's something you can ignore. Um, so they start talking. So like you kind of see them jump in. You see it's in the trailer where she sees him and takes their picture for the first time. And I will say the turtles look amazing. Like when it's just the turtles, it's a really like good feeling movie. Like they look really good. The actors and jokes and stuff they make are really good. I was kind of concerned when I saw some of the pictures that they'd be a little just too goofy looking,
Uh-huh.
but they look really awesome. Like
They did. I
I
think they
was really
did.
happy with that.
Yeah, I think they did like motion capture with actually
Yeah, yeah,
with guys to do, and then animated them that way. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen like a bunch of them. I mean, from what I saw, like that looked okay. I mean, I think I kind of had that fear you did that they would look a bit too off putting in like the normal world, but yeah, I mean, it looked like it was it from what you saw in the trailer, it at the very least didn't make you go like, "Oh god. Oh, this is going to be terrible." Like it didn't put you off.
yeah, yeah. And you see them, and they look good, and the jokes make sense, and their interactions are good. But then so one of the first things is the Foot Clan in this isn't a ninja group. They are like soldiers. They have guns. They shoot. Karai is kind of their leader. I don't know if you know much about Karai. They only say her name once, I think.
Okay.
But in every incarnation, she's the daughter or the disciple kind of Shredder.
Okay.
And you don't realize that at all in this. Like, you just think she's just another person that leads them.
Okay.
So you see that whole foot soldier thing, and that's kind of the basis of that 20 minutes. Like, oh, there's a foot soldier thing, and like everybody knows about it. And it seems like that's like, if this is like a secret terrorist group, like you'd think they'd want to try and keep things more quiet. But they're right out in the open. There's pictures of them everywhere, and they're doing all this violence. And it's like, okay, I can deal with that. I can deal with that.
Okay, okay, so now what we remember as robot ninjas are not robot ninjas. They are normal people, kind of like the little four-armed person team that you see in that movie Heat. Just like a bunch of guys like toting around guns.
Yeah, just kind of like a special force soldiers.
Do they do any
they go
karate
in.
at all? There's any ninjutsu, kung fu that they do.
I think there was one guy who threw a punch, maybe, kinda.
The rest of the time they're just shooting
That's about
guns.
Yeah, just shooting guns. And that, we'll jump ahead on this. So this was really kind of annoying. They say this in the trailer too, is you see them getting shot at, and all four of them look at each other like, oh yeah, we're bulletproof. And I was like, okay, they're shells. Yeah, that makes sense. They're bulletproof on their shells. But there's a scene where Raphael is basically flexing, and the bullets have hit him in his chest, and they're just popping out of him.
Yeah.
And that was towards the end of the movie. I'm kind of like, that. So if they're bulletproof, then how can anything hurt them?
Yeah.
Like, how can swords penetrate them? How can they're basically Superman.
Yeah.
And I mean that's a big plot hole.
And I mean, I could shoot a turtle. Turtles aren't Turtles aren't bulletproof. This is killing it for kids now.
I know.
Kids there's going to be turtle deaths all over the place because people are going to be shooting turtles. Well, the movie said they're bulletproof.
My Leonardo's not bulletproof. Breathe, Leo, breathe.
There's just a dead turtle with like just a big splatter on the bathroom floor. The movie said it was bulletproof.
So they do a couple things, and they decide that. So there's the Eric Sachs character, and I think that I'll get into this later too. But I think I seriously think he started out as, in this movie, he was going to actually be Shredder,
Okay.
and Shredder wasn't going to be actually like a Japanese character like he is in everything.
Right.
But then there was an uproar of that, and they're like, "Oh shit, let's reshoot this stuff and have an actual Shredder." And Eric Sachs is just a guy with him. He's just he was raised by Shredder. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay. Okay.
And a lot of the stuff I want to talk about here pretty quick is I think a lot of this was screwed up because somebody came to this is what I think happened. Somebody came in and said, "Hey, let's make a Turtles movie. We're going to let you kind of do your idea. Here's the books, the stories, and everything else out there, kind of, make your turtle movie."
Okay.
And so they did that. Turtles were aliens. Eric Sachs was Shredder. And they went with that.
Right.
But then somehow somebody saw that and was like, "Wait a second. All that doesn't make any sense." They're like, but we've already shot like, a quarter of the movie
Right.
with that stuff in it." And it's like, well, cut out the pieces of that. Just put in this Japanese guy in the shadows. He's Shredder. You don't really learn anything about Shredder. He's just there in the shadows. And
So you don't
Eric
really
Sachs
see
is Eric
Shredder like
Sachs.
for the movie?
Well, like you don't see him get in the suit or anything like that, but the times he's out of the suit, like I don't think they mention Oroku Saki at all.
Oh.
And he mentioned something about bringing the foot back to power, and I kind of think they've left a lot of that vague. So when they make a second one, maybe they can try to fix that.
Okay.
But like he doesn't really interact with the foot at all. They fight the Shredder, but like I think like Eric Sachs could have technically been the guy in the suit
Right.
before, and they just changed that out and like had the voiceover of the guy, and that's what they went with.
Okay.
So like that's a big kind of thing that irritated me is like there's nothing from Karai that you tie her to the Shredder, Rokusaki. She's just a general basically.
Okay.
And you only hear her name once. But there's nothing about Orokusaki or the Shredder. Like there's no tie of those two, and it seems like that's a really big, character development. And there's backstory there, and there's stuff there.
Yeah, because the way you define a hero is you define his villain. Like the villain makes the hero, and it seems like by underdeveloping the Shredder, that's their fucking villain.
That's their Joker.
Right?
I feel like that's what a lot of superhero movies have done lately is they don't focus on the superheroes or the villains. It's just like, okay, here's this person who's put into this world. We're going to focus it all on them, which is Megan Fox in this instance.
Oh, God.
And then basically this Turtle Shredder thing is kind of happening on the side. And just like with all the villains, it feels like in a lot of these movies, they meet them up at the end and then they quickly defeat them. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, now they're not going to be in the world anymore because they defeat them. It's like, it's the fucking Shredder.
Yeah.
He's always there.
Yeah. And I mean, you want to talk about like somebody that's developed a villain. I mean, look at Loki. He went from being like he was the villain in Thor, and like there was a development, like that's his brother, and and then you find out about like where he came from and what his actual patronage is, and then he's in the Avengers and he's the main villain in the Avengers, and like by the time you get to Thor 2, like he's not even a villain. I mean, he's villainous in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not even a villain. But I swear to God, like Thor 2, that movie was the fucking Loki show.
Yeah.
Like Loki fucking brought down the house in that movie. He owned that fucking movie. Everybody walked out of that movie going, Loki was badass.
Well, you see movies do this all the time, but like he dies and it's like, well, he's not really dead, is he? But they wait till the very, very end, like when you're about ready to leave, and then they show it. Oh, he's taken over his father's kind of persona,
right,
and he's still alive. And it's just that character development, and I feel like a lot of these shows, like Transformers and just things like that, is they say, well, you kind of already have an idea of the story, so we're gonna half-ass all that stuff and just kind of go off of these big explosions and just kind of throw stuff on the screen, and you're gonna like it. So that gets me to the thing that probably irritated me the most. And I don't care about origin changes. That doesn't bother me at all, as long as it makes sense.
So you
And
wouldn't have
I think
cared if they were aliens as long as it made sense.
as long as it made sense, yeah. I mean, it'd be difficult to, I think,
Okay.
just
Okay.
by how you're going to do it. But
Just trying to
I-
get in your headspace. I'm just trying to figure this out.
yeah, they could be aliens if it makes sense. Yeah, make them aliens.
Okay.
So, and I feel like the Turtles, if like you look at the original movie and the cartoon, those were two completely different origin stories. You know, Splinter was the pet rat of his master,
Right.
and in the other one, he was that person.
Right. In the
So you get to this
cartoon he
origin
was an actual person that was mutated into a rat. And then in the movie he was, or in the original live action movie, he was a rat that mutated into a bigger talking rat.
Yeah, because the mutagen in the movie just basically made animals more humanoid,
Right.
or made like humans huge. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like that's how he knows karate, is because he trained every day watching his master,
Right.
watching Hamato Yoshi. It's like, okay, that makes sense. And in the new comic book, they are lab rats. They're lab animals, the turtles and Splinter.
Okay.
And so they kind of did that in this. So the turtles and Splinter are all lab things that are getting experimented on by Eric Sachs and April O'Neil's dad.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, they're going to do the comic, because in the comic they get mutated, but it's like, okay, well, how do they know karate and everything? Well, they're have been reincarnated. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So they tie it all together in the comic by saying, okay, Splinter is actually the turtles' dads in this, feudal Japan 1600 or whatever.
So wait,
And Shredder ties to
whoa,
them.
wait. So
Oh,
okay, so the Turtles and Splinter are the reincarnation of ninjas from the 16th century?
Yeah, so this is in the comic.
Okay.
In the comic,
Okay.
they're reincarnated as Splinter is the dad, he's the rat, and then the four turtles were his four sons in this feudal Japan.
Okay.
And Shredder was alive in this time. And it's the same storyline, Splinter had a wife who Shredder wanted to love too.
Right.
Ends up killing his wife, accidentally.
Yeah.
But Shredder actually ends up killing Splinter and his sons in this time frame.
Okay.
So come to the future, they're reincarnated. They get mutated into these big things, and that's how they know karate. Is they still train, but they have those memories from the past.
Okay.
And that's how they become ninjas.
All right. All right.
So it's like, oh, that makes sense. If that could ever happen in the real world.
Sure, I mean, it makes
know,
as much sense as four turtles getting mutated into the reincarnated, people from feudal Japan. It's fine. Okay, I'm with you now. I was like, wait, where did reincarnation come in? But okay, all right,
Gotcha. Yeah. So in the movie, and then just to bring it back to that, so Karai is like Shredder's great granddaughter.
Okay,
and so she brings him back into the future somehow. Like she does some kind of spell or something to get him into the future. So that's how he gets into the future. So they're all in present day time from reincarnation and then some kind of spell bringing Shredder in. So it's like, okay, makes sense.
Okay.
In this, Splinter and the Turtles are in a lab.
All right.
April's dad and Eric Sachs are the ones that mutate them.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, they're going to do the comic thing. That's going to be awesome.
Right.
Because that can explain some things.
Sure.
So the lab burns down.
All right.
And they get saved by April. And he's starting to go through their origin story. And he's like, yeah, we were mutated, and then we got bigger. And the kids like pop culture. And they show Holler Batgirl, so I thought about you.
Yeah.
They had like a little thing, and they were watching TV through a mirror. And he's like, I knew they were going to need to be able to defend themselves. And this time they're probably like 8 or 9, just guessing.
Okay.
And so Splinter's, sweeping up, like a single dad, sweeping up the sewer. And he comes across a ninjutsu book.
Okay. He finds a ninjutsu book in a sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how the turtles become master ninjas, is because Splinter found a ninjutsu book and taught himself ninjutsu and then taught it to his sons.
Oh. So they all learn it from a book? It's like how to be a ninja in 12 easy steps.
Ninja for dummies.
And
then they can take on Shredder, who is probably one of the greatest ninjas of all time.
yeah.
That
Like, it's okay. I read
was
the cliff
pretty
notes
frustrating.
on this.
Yeah. I was just like, really?
That seems like
From a book?
that just seems like kind of a cop out. Like, it just seems like that
Yeah.
you could have done something else with it. I mean, okay, like if you know, I guess you can. I mean, obviously they did, but I mean, I guess you can explain it that way. It just seems kind of. It just seems like kind of a meh. They find a book, whatever.
Yeah.
It seems like kind of a
very
throw.
lazy.
Exactly, it's lazy. It's a throwaway thing. Like you could have, like the whole reincarnated thing. Okay, it sounds a bit weird and wacky, but then you can kind of honestly, like I kind of like that idea because then I think if you want to do more movies, you can kind of bring in that whole like supernatural element to it, and like
exactly.
Taoist philosophy and stuff like that. But if they just find, I mean, okay. I mean, all right.
I mean, like, I think I would have been more open to them, like, somehow sneaking into, like, putting on weird outfits and going into, like, a karate studio and taking karate for 10 years. But, you're going to tell me that. And then they show Splinter as being a lot more, like, skilled than the Turtles. And it's like, well, how's he more skilled?
Yeah,
I mean,
like.
He's read a chapter ahead.
I have the teacher's. I found, and that's when I found the teacher's version of the ninjutsu book.
Remember, everything I've taught you isn't everything I know. Mr. Splinter, you're only a chapter ahead.
I read the teacher's edition. It has all the answers in the side. Don't copy off of me.
So that felt just very lazy. I mean, he did say something about them picking it up. Like, even though he read the book, he's like, they picked it up really, really quick. So it's even kind of like, oh, okay, they're gonna say like maybe they're reincarnated or something. And it's like, no, they just picked it up quick. They're quick learners.
All right.
And they don't really dive into the backstory of the Turtles or anything. Like you know their personalities because how they talk and everything, and because you know who they are.
Yeah.
But they don't really say like how Leonardo became a leader. They don't say how Raph became kind of the badass. They don't show Donatello being smart or anything like that. So
well,
a lot
I mean,
of
they
that just
didn't.
kinda got swept under the rug.
Yeah, I mean, well, they didn't really. I mean, I don't think they really did that in the cartoon. I mean, the only way you knew who filled in what role was from the theme song.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they did have a few throwbacks where they showed him a little bit younger, and I didn't need a ton of that information. But I mean, if I could go for 20 minutes of Megan Fox trying to act, or 20 minutes of them explaining those turtles, then I would go for that 20 minutes of them explaining the turtles.
Right.
But
okay.
yeah, to me,
I can overlook the fact that like they don't go into what like who fills what role and why. Like I could look past that because I mean I don't know, to me like if you want to know how Michelangelo acts, you just watch Michelangelo be what he is and then you get that. And if you see Donatello do something that requires some intelligence, then he's the smart one. I don't know. I'm just, in that respect, I give him a pass because I think if you want to learn about him, you just show it. You don't need to explain. Oh, he's the smart one.
Yeah, and I don't. And it was one of those things like if that was the only thing, I'd be fine. But it just piles on.
Okay, so
what else? Was
they're reading Ninjas for Dummies, and then they learn ninjutsu, and then they're all master ninjas, and then Splinter's apparently the fucking Bobby Fischer of the ninjutsu book, and he's super ninja. Okay.
So you have that now. So he learned from a book. He's a master ninja because he read the teacher's version. So now April and goes to the Turtles because the idea is that, and this was the stupidest, I think, trying to make it the big bad thing is that years ago, Shredder and Eric Sachs wanted to basically poison New York City. There's this big ass container of gas on his building
Okay.
that he wants to release into the world or to New York,
All right.
and then he can come back with the antigen, which is going to be made from that mutagens, which what they were trying to test for.
All right.
And so that's the idea of what they want to do with that. And so he finds out that the turtles are alive from April because she goes to him because he knew her dad or whatever. And what's fucked up is there any mountains near New York that during the springtime have snow on them?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Because I saw that, and I'm not great with geography, but I was just kind of like, well, maybe they went to Canada. They drove to Canada. No, they come back.
Actually,
So I mean, it's cool.
I did see one review. I read a couple reviews on it, and one review that I thought was interesting is that they were like, okay, so this movie is supposedly set in New York, but there's nothing in the movie to make me feel like I'm in New York.
Besides the New Year's Eve ball thing.
I guess, yeah. He was like, I watch a Spider-Man movie, and like he's in New York, and it feels like New York, and people act and talk, and they're from New York. Like the city has a personality. Like let the personality of the city come through. I didn't get that feeling that they were in New York. And I see what you were saying about like the geography. Like if they're going from a city like New York City to like a snow-capped mountain in a matter of minutes, then maybe they're traveling by map, like on the Muppets.
Maybe.
How'd
But
you get
even
here
if,
so
like,
fast?
whatever.
Oh, we traveled by map.
So, and that's where Eric Sachs lives. So she goes up to see him. It's snow-covered mountains. It's springtime, and she explains to him that she met these turtles, and she realized that they were her pet turtles because she took care of them in the lab that her dad worked at.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, whatever. He gives her a credit card, and he's like, I want you to do whatever it takes to either help these guys or do something with them. And so she's like, oh, I'll do it, Mr. Sachs. That's about exactly how she says it.
Oh God.
And so she leaves and goes to the turtles and he gave her a credit card. So I don't even think she went on a shopping spree. And I was kind of starting to tune out at this point. So I look over at Tiffany right when she gets the card, and I'm like, shopping spree.
Oh.
So of course, the credit card has a tracking device.
Of course
she goes,
it does.
Right, or the turtles need to bring her back because Splinter. They say something about how they know her. Or they found her, and Splinter's like, you need to bring her back because he knows who April is because he just remembers. And so she gets back down there, and he reveals that Eric Sachs was going to do this thing, and then her dad found out. He burned down. He died in the fire.
Okay, so Eric Sachs
like,
was
"Oh,
gonna,
no."
release this gas, and then April's dad was like, no, and then a fight ensues, and the lab burns down, and that's what causes these turtles, these now mutated turtles, to be released into the wild sewers of anywhere USA. All right.
Yeah. And so that's how they're all connected. And so she gets down there, and the big reveal: Eric Sachs is a bad guy, and she pulls out the credit card, and she's like, "Oh no!" And that's when the Foot Clan breaks in. And then there's this big fight between Shredder and Splinter. It's a great fight. It's an awesome fight.
Yeah.
And up to this point, they haven't explained how Splinter knows Shredder.
Okay.
Like he's mentioned his names a bunch of times, but there's no connection between the two. He's just like, Shredder's a bad guy.
Okay.
Nobody knows about Shredder.
Now
but
I will
him.
remember at one probably 1 or 2 podcasts back, you were saying that you were wondering how Splinter. You were saying you saw a trailer and Splinter apparently knew who April O'Neil was, and you were wondering how they were going to make that connection, which is explained because she took care of him in the lab and whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how he knew her.
So apparently,
because I was worried somehow.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say somehow that I was worried that he was gonna end up being her dad,
Right.
and that was gonna be really weird. Because my first thought is like, well, if it's her dad, how does he know karate? How does he know ninjutsu?
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's just gonna read a fucking
just
book.
he read a
so
book.
It's no big deal.
Yeah. That's what I didn't know that's all it
There is
took.
something awesome.
Now I should learn ninjutsu.
I guess. I know that's what we need to do.
I gotta find a book.
But don't get ahead of me though, because I want us to be on the same playing field.
I will be your
That'd be unfair
Splitter.
if you read a chapter.
I will be your Master Splitter. Okay, but we digress. Don't know the connection between Shredder and Splinter, and it's going to be revealed?
There's nothing. Those two fight, and Splinter's holding his own, which, again, it's like... I feel like it's like somebody who's trained their whole life to play, like, I don't know, like, let's say basketball. Maybe they're the same height as me, but they've been playing basketball their whole life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to read a basketball book, and then I'm going to play you one-on-one. And I'm going to basically compete with you. I mean, you're still going to beat me, but, it's going to be close. It's like, no. If somebody's training at something their whole life and is like a true master at it, they're going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
But Splinter holds his own.
Yeah. Okay.
And the three turtles get taken away, and then there's the big snow scene that you see. But the idea is they're pulling that mutagen out to basically be able to save everybody in New York.
Okay.
And once they get that pulled out, they fly out and they release the toxin, or try to, and they do the countdown timer. And of course, the turtles stop it just in time.
Of course. So the whole so far the last half hour, 45 minutes is probably fairly has been fairly predictable.
Yeah.
I want to read this book.
Yeah, the ninjutsu
right?
book.
Like this
It's
seems
gotta
like
be.
the
I mean, it's gotta
awesome
be something
fucking
amazing.
book.
And when they opened it up, it was just like step-by-step things. So it looked like a yoga book, like when they tell you to do poses. So
Thank God they didn't find a Kama Sutra book. Teenage
I need you to
Mutant-
find April O'Neil. What for, Master Splinter?
so we can fuck her. Turn the lights down low. I mean, blow that candle out. Because we're in a sewer and there are no lights.
What other books would be awesome if they found instead of that? So there's a Kama Sutra book.
There's a Kama Sutra book. Blogging for dummies. Journaling
Yeah.
for dummies. So they all just sit there and just write in diaries. Dear diary, today Raph hit me on the head. I didn't like it so much. I shot at him, but he deflected all the bullets.
We're bulletproof. Who knew? And they stop it. I mean, there was a cool thing about Splinter. I thought he looked decent.
Okay.
But something I've never seen him do in anything is he actually used his tail. Like he would wrap it around people and throw them. And it was kind of a weapon for him, which was pretty cool. I hadn't seen that done before.
Do rats have a prehensile tail? I know possums do.
I don't know for sure. I mean,
rats have a tail. I don't know if I didn't know they could wrap it around stuff and like monkeys, where they just they could hang from trees and shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they can or not. He did,
whatever.
but yeah,
Okay.
but that's something. It's like even if it is,
I'm down with
it's
it.
like that's cool.
I want to know
what
what that chapter in the book. I would have to skip over. How to use your tail as a weapon. I don't have a tail. Next chapter.
Score, I have a tail. That's a chapter for me. He looks at okay, that's why he was the master, because there is a tail and the turtles don't have tails. That makes sense.
Yeah, they have little nubby tails, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this isn't going to work.
All right, I apologize, everybody. This movie makes 100% sense now. My apologies.
That's why he's the sensei. All right. So Splinter and Shredder, they're fighting and they're chopping each other, and he's doing stuff with his tail and acting like a possum even though he's a rat. And how does the fight end?
He does
Okay.
lose. Shredder throws him up against something and stuff comes crumbling down. They call him Dad a lot, which was kind of cool. You don't really hear him called Dad in many things.
Yeah.
So that happens, and then the three turtles, Leo, Donatello and Michelangelo all get kidnapped and taken to Eric Sack's place. They start, Raph got away from him, so he's like, we got to go save my brothers. They go save the brothers.
All right.
And when they get there, they're getting basically like all the blood taken out of them because that's what they're going to use as the antigen.
Okay.
And so there's a cool fight between Raph and Shredder. And something else I've never seen done before in the Turtles is Shredder stepping on Raph's shell and cracks it.
So he steps on it and it cracks.
Yeah.
Even though it deflects.
Yeah.
Bullets can't.
Yeah.
So apparently his foot. See, that's why they're the Foot Clan, because it's all based off Shredder's foot, which apparently can smash Kevlar.
There was I can't remember exactly what they said. So when they were talking about in the beginning, they were talking about the Foot Clan. It's like, you know why they're called the Foot? Because they stepped their foot over their enemies. It's like, what?
What?
That doesn't make any sense, but all right. And that's like the first 10 minutes of the movie, so it's downhill from there. But yeah, and then there's a cool part when they're in there and they get shot up with adrenaline because they're about to die, but April saves them by shooting them up with adrenaline, and they just like start freaking out and flipping around, and they're all like hyped up like, kids on Mountain Dew. So,
Right.
I mean, that part was kind of neat. But the ending of it's pretty much your typical ending. They go to the top of the tower, they fight Shredder, they stop him, and Shredder falls off the building and falls down and touches some mutagen, and he's still moving, so he's still alive. So there's the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, and Splinter's still alive. They give him mutagen, and he regenerates, so he's healthy again.
So everybody's all better.
Yeah, everybody's all better, and they're good to go.
Oh. And credits. Wow.
So it's one of those things, like I said a little bit earlier, but I really feel like I said, somebody came in with an idea, and then somebody said that's not going to work, and they're like, well, we're too far into this process to just can it. So do what research you can. If this makes money, make it vague enough that we can do something in the second one.
Well, I mean, first question I have is, why is Raphael always kind of like the main character in these movies?
Well,
have you ever noticed that? It seems like okay, so like in this one, Raph gets away, and then he's dealing with I'm sure like there's a little moment of like inner struggle, like with him, gotta save my brothers, and like in the first live action one, like he like out of the four, the one who gets the most screen time, sans the other turtles is Raph, and I don't know why that is. I was just curious if there was a reason.
I don't know if there's a specific reason. I think maybe just because he's already the loner, so it makes sense that he would be off on his own.
All right, all right.
But that's probably about the only reason. I think in this one they could have, they probably could have only picked him or Leo to really make this part work. Where somebody's like, oh, okay, I got to save my brothers because Michelangelo, I don't know if could have really done it. Donatello probably could because he's smart enough. He'd figure something out, but...
Right, yeah. Okay, I was just wondering. Just curious.
It just feels like just there's just too many rewrites, and I think they're trying to set it up that they left everything vague enough that, maybe in the next one they'll be like, okay, let's say that they were reincarnated, so that gives some backstory, and we'll actually talk about Shredder and Karai and actually make it the Shredder Karai turtle story.
Well, I think that there was a word that you said, I think, that sums up the movie kind of perfectly, and that is lazy.
Yes.
The movie seems lazy. From what I'm hearing, like, they kind of skirt around this, and they kind of like, they do this, and like it just seems like the movie is like lazily put together. And
that's I think
that probably is what pisses you off the most, is because you felt like you personally, you probably felt like they weren't taking the movie seriously for you. I mean, as seriously as you can take a movie about 4 mutant turtles, I get it, but it means something to you, and the fact, and it I would say that probably to a point it's almost like you felt like they were treating the story of the turtles and their villain and the relationships between everyone. They were kind of treating it as a joke.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, I understand this isn't, the most important thing in the world. It's something I enjoy. It's something I look forward to. And that's the thing is, like, people who, like, I'm not saying, like, this isn't my Turtles, because I don't care if it's not my Turtles. I just want a good story, a good plot, something that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be my 90s or my 91 live action Turtles. That's fine with me. And you get the other people who are like, oh, it's just a movie, who cares? It's just a movie. It's like, well, yeah, it is just a movie, but
it is just a movie, but that doesn't mean it can't. I mean, just because it's a movie, it doesn't mean that it can't be something. It doesn't mean that it can't be something special, or at very least, like, mean something special to someone. And I think when you put a movie together lazily, and when you treat it like, and when you don't give, when you act like, oh, who cares? It's just a fucking Turtles movie. Like, that shows. Like, it shows that just basically that you just didn't really want to make this movie, that you were just kind of making it just, I don't know, maybe out of boredom, maybe because, hey, we'll slap a license on it and we got money. I mean, who knows? But it sounds like they just kind of threw something together, and I'm sorry, but that's why they're getting eviscerated on the internet, because I honestly haven't seen one good review of the movie on the internet. I mean, granted, it's the internet, but I mean, you look at like Guardians of the Galaxy is getting rave reviews on the internet. I mean, say what you will about the internet. I mean, it's a place where, anybody, if you want to find somebody to tear you or something you like down, go to the internet. But I haven't seen one good thing about this movie on the internet.
The only thing I've seen is there's, like, some people making comments on some Facebook posts, but a lot of them are just saying, like, oh, it's just a movie, quit trying to be like it's your 90s TV. It's not the 90s, it's this. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And, like, kids will love this movie. You take a 9 or 10-year-old or 12-year-old to this movie, they'll love it. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of coolness. But, like the 91, there was plot there. There was, there was stuff in there that made sense.
Well, there was a story. I mean,
yeah,
it's like I said, like, I got the impression that, say what you will about the 90s movie, I thought it did as good as it could with what they had. It
was an independent movie too. They weren't financed at that point by a big studio, so they just kind of made it how they wanted to.
Right. And I mean, and a perfect example is, like, I watched, I went with you to watch the Turtles movie they made 2 years ago, and I liked it. I really did.
Yeah, it was good.
It had a good solid story. I mean, and that they didn't even have the Shredder at all in that fucking movie. Like, he didn't make an appearance. There was nothing in there. They kind of tease it at the end of it, but there is nothing. There is no. I mean, they reference him, but there's no visual. There is no appearance. There's nothing. And it's a good movie. There's a plot. There's a story, and it's there's structure and. But, like, with this, it just seems like they just kind of meh.
Yeah, it's like, you know who the Turtles are, but we're going to make this kind of the Megan Fox with the Turtles in it and go from there.
They read a book. No.
Yeah.
They read a book. Oh, Megan Fox, please give us more exposition about how shitty you are as an actress. I swear.
That was, and, like, we walked out, and Tiffany's like, because she could, like, I walked out, and I was trying to be okay with it because I didn't want to hate it. I really, really didn't want to hate it. And I walked out, and
so during, like, the end credits, you're trying to, like, rationalize it in your head. You're like,
yeah,
well, okay, well, that it wasn't that bad because, I mean, they did do this, and
but the book. And so, like, I asked Tiffany's mom, like, would you like it? And she's like, well, it was fun. And Tiffany's like, it was okay. And then we kind of get home, and I'm just like, I'm kind of depressed about it. Like, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah.
And, like, you come off of, like, I just saw Guardians of the Galaxy the day before, and you see a movie like that that's like, it's a really fucking good movie. And, like, I was kind of worried that I was gonna kind of see that and then go see the Turtles and be skewed by that. But it's like, even if the Turtles was half as good as that movie, it would still be a good movie. But it was just
Yeah.
not even near the ballpark.
And again, like, oh, it's just a movie. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy, also just a movie. And I mean, that movie's got a fucking tree and a raccoon, an animated raccoon, and a fucking tree. Like, so we're not comparing fucking. It's not like we're comparing apples and oranges here. I mean, there's a degree you have to suspend disbelief
Yeah.
to some degree on both of these movies. But Guardians of the Galaxy, again, I mean, there's structure, there's a story, there's continuity. Things are explained, things are, you have I mean, yeah, you got your action moments and your oh shit, look at that moments, but it's solid. And like I said, that movie has a fucking a gun-toting raccoon.
That's funny. He's the Michelangelo of the group, and he's funny. And I think the big
Bet
thing
he
about
didn't
this
read a
too-
book.
But the thing, I think, when if I had to say what I think where they differ between Guardians of the Galaxies and this Turtles, is I think with Guardians, I think you have people who actually care and actually want to make a good movie.
Exactly.
And they've got a line of good movies that are pushing into it. And they're like, we're a part of something bigger. We want to make a good movie. We want to have a great experience. This is what we're doing. And you have the people with the Turtles who are like, this is a movie that's guaranteed to make a ton of money. I can get my name on this and put it out, and then I can move on to my next thing. Like, I don't really care it's the Turtles. I don't care what it leads to. I just want to be able to say, hey, I made that $100 million movie, even though it was not what a $100 million movie should be.
I have no idea what it's doing box office wise, but like I said, like that movie's getting ripped apart from what I've seen on like Facebook and review sites, and I think it's on like Rotten Tomatoes, and there was another one there was another review I read, I don't remember from where, might have been Empire, but yeah, I mean, it's not doing well. It's not doing well from people that have seen it. They're done.
Dollars wise, I've heard it's done really well. So I'm kind of curious what's going to do like next week or this week when like those reviews come out and people have seen it. Because I was kind of saying, I was on the opinion, because I saw it in 3D. I don't really care for 3D, so I wanted to see it in 2D. And I was like, if it's not terrible, I'll go see it again. And I'm kind of, after I saw it, I'm kind of like, I don't really want to go see it again. And that's what really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, is this one that you would buy on DVD?
I don't know if I will. I told Tiffany that because we were going in there, and I said something about like, I don't know if she had to go to the bathroom or what it was. I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna for sure get this on Blu-ray. And we watched the movie and we leave, and as we were getting home, she's like, well, are you still gonna buy it on Blu-ray? And I'm like, I don't know. I doubt it. Not when it first comes out. I'll buy it when it's like $5 or $10 maybe, but I'm not spending full price on it.
So there you go. Okay, so all right. So Michael Bay. Let's say Michael Bay bursts open your door right now. What is it that you want to say to him about this Turtles movie? If you could collect your thoughts into a precious few, what would you say to him if you were given 30 seconds?
I'd pretty much tell him he screwed this one up, but he's left everything vague enough that they can create a brand new story for the second one. So you kind of have a little background, but you actually give a full-fledged story in the second one, and you kick it off. It's the Turtle Shredder story. It's what the first one probably should have been, and you go from there. You've told them you're in the lab. Go with the comics. So they're in a lab. They're reincarnated. There's tons of stories there. Go with that and make an actual good Turtles movie.
Plus, I mean, there's tons of stuff there's tons of stuff that they could still draw on. I mean, you have, you got the Shredder, and I mean, you could also draw on stuff like, did they introduce Casey Jones? No Casey Jones?
No, Casey Jones wasn't in it at all. So, yeah, there's Casey Jones, there's Dimension X, there's there's tons of other characters, like Rat King, Bebop and Rocksteady.
Right.
You could do Toka and Razor again. I mean, there's a tons of stuff there, and that's something else that's really interesting.
Toka, Razor, attack. Beepies.
I love that movie.
I laugh out loud every time that happens. And see,
Didn't we
yeah,
do that?
Turtles 2 wasn't fantastic, but it was kind of campy. So it was funny
Yeah.
it was funny in a campy sense. Turtles 3, I don't know. I think I did watch it once, and then I don't know what happened after that.
But I mean, my biggest fear, I think, in this is I kind of have the feeling like when I came out of like the Batman Begins and the Dark Knight is more so with the Turtles, but it feels like they're just like slowly starting this thing up. So it's like they'll come out with a second one and like nothing's really going to happen. You know, the Shredder's not the Shredder still. And they're going to come out with a third one where the Shredder's still like just starting to turn Shredder, then he's dead.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my fear on
Well,
that.
I'll tell you what. Considering the way this movie so far is playing out, that they need to do something. They need to breathe some life into this fucking dead corpse that they've cadavered.
Well, it's just like, I mean, like Transformers didn't like the third or fourth one have like really, really bad reviews, and they kind of, you know, they kicked out the main star, they brought in a new star with Mark Wahlberg, and they kicked off this new movie. But it kind of does the same thing, like it doesn't explain a lot of stuff. And it's just like big flashy things happening.
Yeah. So basically, to sum this up, we're saying that Michael Bay is a terrible director. You know,
Yeah,
because
and
he
he
did
didn't
the
even direct this
Transformers
one.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he gives
Yeah.
great speeches. I mean, he comes up and shows TVs and says,
Don't
a sentence,
don't
and
watch
then walks
anything
away.
that Michael Bay is attached to. That's our point. Except The
Have you seen-
Rock.
have you
The
seen-
Rock was pretty good.
Yeah. Have you seen his thing where he goes on stage to introduce some new TV or something? It's like a 72-inch TV. Have you seen that video
I think
online?
so. I think I saw. Wasn't there one where like he fucked it up?
Yeah, he gets out there. He's like, "So TVs are good for stuff, and I gotta go," and like just walks off. And the guy's like, "Oh, well, Michael Bay,
yeah,
everybody."
I did hear about that. Yeah.
But
I don't know how to speak much good to people. Lots of. Bye.
play me off, Sam. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to persuade anybody from not going and see it. I mean, check it out, make up your own opinion on it. Hopefully, you like it a little bit better than I do. But that's all I have to really say about the Turtles. I got it off my chest. I feel better now. I feel good.
I'm glad you feel better, because that's what we're here to do. That's all we're here for.
So just kind of want to give some shout outs to some people who kind of hollered at me. There's a girl named Anna Mae Mavine. She's actually going to do a blog on the Turtle Show. She was kind of asking what we think. I told her we're going to do a podcast on it. So here it is. And you know how we feel about it now, or at least how I feel about it.
This is how he feels about it. I pretty much I'm falling in line. Like, I'll go with the Turtles expert on this. You know, I doubt I will see it, honestly, because I can think of, I could go see Guardians twice.
Yeah, that I would definitely say go see Guardians twice, because there's so many Easter eggs in Guardians I've just been noticing come up online that going back and seeing that would be awesome. Because I guess
Howard
Nathan
the Duck.
Yeah, he's at the very end.
Howard the Duck.
Nathan
I'm
Fillion's in
sorry.
there too.
He is in there. It was like Howard the Duck, terrible movie, but like I was 8 years old and I liked it, and I mean I haven't seen it since, but I remember watching it when I was a kid and I was like, hey, this is a good movie, Howard the Duck, woo! But yeah, after I mean, like I said, I haven't seen it since, and I know. I was like, God, that was a horrible movie. I liked it because I was 8. It wasn't because I thought it was a good. It wasn't because I had horrible taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, Howard the Duck. Nathan Fillion as Nova, and go ahead and think. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, yeah, I guess he's in the jail. I didn't notice him until I came back and saw the things on it, so I want to kind of go back and see that.
Yeah,
but
Richard Rider as Nova is in the Nova Corps. So there's Howard the Duck. There was Nova, Thanos.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
Badass.
Yeah, you need to go check that movie out. It's awesome.
Oof.
I also want to thank Erin Jordan. She's kind of been binging through some of our episodes, and I think she got us our new hashtag, what we need to use. She hashtagged one called Eat the Beaver. So,
That one, I saw that one.
yeah. So just thank you guys. So again, if you want to reach us on Twitter, we're at Language of Bro. So we're going to do some housekeeping real quick. If you want to email us, we're at languageofbromance@gmail.com. Websites, languageofbromance.com. You can like us on Facebook or like us on Stitcher. We're out there as well. And unless you have anything else to add, Rich?
Give out some love for the Stitcher app. We just got put on Stitcher not that long ago. It's a great app. I got it just a couple weeks ago, and I'm falling in love with that Stitcher app. It's awesome.
Give us a review on there or iTunes, whichever one you use.
Yeah.
So I guess that's.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead, sound it off. Go ahead and sign it off. I'm glad you seem more. You're more upbeat now. Go have at it.
Yeah, I've kind of got the teary eyes out. I've used a box full of tissues, but I think I'm okay now. So I guess that's all the bromance we have for this show. So I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the beaver.
Hashtag.
Hashtag eat the beaver.
Hashtag eat the beaver.